Is this your poster?
It is.
You got a elevator pitch?
I do, yes.
All right. So what do we have here?
So I researched South Dakota WIC coverage rates and utilization.
Okay.
So I got my data from the South Dakota Public Health Department, just on like women, infants, and children categories, like how many people were issued, how many were participating,
Okay.
and how many people were actually utilizing the program. So the first figure there just kind of shows what the total population was, how many people are eligible, and how many people are participating in the program. And then we kind of calculated it by county on which counties were utilizing the program more than others, and what were kind of some of the factors that might contribute to underutilization or overutilization. The counties that have that are kind of filled in white there, those are the tribal counties that...
So you didn't get as much data collected?
Right, and actually zero because they use federal funds instead of the state.
Oh, okay.
From the USDA, so we didn't have anything there, but there were like ZBAC and Dewey actually are tribal communities, but they had a WIC.
Oh, ZBAC. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and then Kids Count, Carol Cochran, she's from South Dakota, or USD, she kind of did the map for us and some of the data there, but
Okay.
I had looked into factors, and we didn't get to go through the analysis part. Like I had all the factors from just different literature that I had found from different states and what they're doing to kind of promote the program. But
Okay.
like transportation was one. Kind of the stigma of using a federal program was another one. Minority and like language barriers.
Was there a high amount of like immigrants and refugees? Or?
Yeah, so there were some that were more like Hispanic immigrants that were coming into the state that there were some language barriers with the program, or didn't know that they could utilize the program. So that was one.
So they were missing out because they didn't know, like just that not having either the visibility of the program to them, or just not having the awareness about that these resources are here for you.
Right, like both of them, yeah. So that was kind of one. And I looked at other states to see like what they thought their factors were that with utilization, and Nebraska was one. I looked at Nebraska because they were pretty comparable with South Dakota just as far as being rural.
Okay.
So they actually had formed a survey of why people don't use the program, and some of it was language barriers, transportation, the appointments.
Okay.
Like just not being able to get off work and go to the appointments.
So inconvenience of when the government offices are open.
Right.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
So is there any ways to, like, so now you got this information, where do we go now? What's the next step?
So the recommendation part, I just kind of looked for things of where we can like help promote the program or help try to get the information out of there. I looked up, this was some of the stuff that South Dakota was kind of already doing, but then there were some things that like Minnesota really integrated. They have a really high utilization on WIC. So I looked at their annual report and some of the things that they were doing on their website, and they have a big Somali population, Hispanic population. So a lot of the information on WIC they were integrating, or they were kind of going with a more culturally competent approach, like putting the information in the language so that they can understand the program and how it works and how they qualify for it. Text messaging, notifications to increase, like when their appointments were, and online scheduling, telemedicine services, that type of stuff. So, so I kind of just looked in to see like what are other states that are doing that are more successful than South Dakota. Like what are they doing to promote it?
As far as like dissemination, getting the information out there.
Yeah. Yep.
So like I guess the template state that is doing well is it Minnesota, or is it Nebraska, or is it like this? I guess that is closely similar to
Yeah, like Minnesota was really really successful. There was other states that were pretty comparable, like California. I guess they have a really good one too, but they're kind of way out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like find one more centralized.
Like, so what about like Colorado, Iowa,
Um,
Montana, North Dakota? Are they in the same boat? Are they doing better? Are they doing less? Or you didn't get to see those state
I
results?
didn't get to see them. So like on this part,
Yeah.
I actually started out doing that, but
Yeah.
we didn't find enough information out there. Like South Dakota had an annual report out, but all the
Yeah.
other states didn't. So I didn't have that data handy to see like, okay, well, we had the 2016 results on like overall coverage for their states.
Yeah.
But 2017 they had none.
Oh, okay.
So they hadn't yet calculated it, and we would have had to call every WIC office or public health department to see, what their coverage rates and how does that compare to the Midwest overall, and what states are doing what, I guess. But yeah, so it was interesting. What really was neat was we're doing really great with women and infants, but children 1 to 4 were really low.
I see that. I'm looking at that.
So that was really alarming, but
Jeez.
I looked in to see what kind of factors were influencing that, and a lot of people don't know. They think that WIC is just for pregnant women and infants, but they don't know that they can go beyond that they're eligible until age 5. So a lot of these children are in daycare, or they're in like even a provider that maybe is an in-home daycare.
Yeah.
How do you reach those? How do you reach those providers? They are giving some of that information to the Head Starts and preschools, but it's like, why aren't they utilizing and that population there? Like, you figure the children that are under 1 are getting immunizations like crazy, for a course of period of time. So after that, there's a period where they're not getting their well checks for children, and so like where's the gap there where they're not getting the information,
So it's women, infant, and children. Is there like single fathers, like men, infant and children?
Absolutely.
Do they still fall under WIC? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So it's just kind of based on if they're below that 185% poverty level. Yep.
Is most of like the recipients of WIC, are they single parents? Is it single parents households?
That's a really good question. Yeah, like the majority of them are like single parents or one single household. That was one of the factors, but there were some that either one person worked and one didn't, or just didn't make enough. It just kind of like how they're eligible is it combines like the overall household income. So yeah, I don't know like what the overall stats for that is, but
So, and then it says enrolled in TANF, SNAP, Medicaid.
Yep.
Do they also, get assistance if one parent is not in the picture? Are they getting child support, or at least to kind of help,
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that other parent is just not skating like, haha, suckers, left my family behind.
I don't, that would be definitely more in depth.
Oh, gotcha.
Research to find out, if they're getting any more help. Like, in order to be eligible for those, so they have to be enrolled in one of those programs, I guess.
How many, is this the number? Or, like, how many participants in this? Like, for the, like, so what's this 49,000?
So
is that
that's the total population
of children?
In the state.
That's on WIC. Dang, okay.
So these are the children that are eligible. And these
Oh,
are
those,
the
okay.
Yep.
So, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. But then, like, the information that we got from the health department, they categorize children a little bit different. They put, like, 0 to 4 or something, or they put...
Oh.
So I had to go on Kids Count and actually try to calculate the numbers that they had and integrate it with the data that we got from So that's how we came up with the total, basically. But,
So I wonder, like, compare, like, so this is just South Dakota, and then if we had like the nation, like, what was the
Yeah.
nation, 2018 results, like, comparably, like, how off tier or how on par are we with the nation?
Right.
Are we doing worse? Are we doing better? This is good. Thank you. Are you, is it Ava?
Eva. Yep. Yep.
Nice. Great job.
Yeah.
Anybody, Chelsea and Carol, are they continue, like, are they planning to, like, do some future research, or is this just kind of like, all right, now we're going to pass the baton to someone else? Like, we got this information now, it's time to disseminate it, and I got other projects I want to research now.
I think they're looking into more of the factor analysis, like trying to, because I got to the point where I was looking at the literature, and I had this whole column of factors that we found
Yeah.
just from what other states had found that was like contributing to the underutilization or overutilization. Why is there a certain population that are using it more than others?
Yeah.
And we got down to that, but we were looking for, we had a stat student that was doing our analysis, and she kind of got overwhelmed with her final stuff, so
Yeah.
she wasn't able to do the numbers part of it for us.
Gotcha.
So, like, I had the information, we just didn't have the analysis and how we could kind of correlate the data with the factors, so.
So you got a master's in public health?
Yeah, yep. I just graduated in May. Yep.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Are you planning to go further, or are you done with school?
It kind of determines like where I don't have a job right now. I'm doing an internship right now with the Siouxland District Health Department in their environmental health section.
Okay.
So
Is that here or is that in here?
in Sioux City, Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But and then I'm military also, so I do equal opportunity on the military side.
Thanks for serving.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and then I'm going into public health on the military side too.
Which branch?
Air Force.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So I do the Air National Guard.
You ever thought of doing like global health?
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
thought about it?
I thought about it.
Because that's what, like, I just found out about it last week. And,
Oh, really?
Like, I didn't know it was a thing, and now I'm
Yeah.
like super interested in it. So like anybody that has information, I'm just like, what do you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah. If you go on USA Jobs, like they have a ton of the like CDC where you can do a 2-year tour.
nice.
Like if I didn't have kids and all that, I probably would have done like a 2-year tour in like Switzerland or something, like working for the WHO or CDC. It'd be sweet. But the Guard, we have public health officers, so I'm trying to roll into that because whenever we deploy, we kind of look up the geographic region and then kind of educate our service members about, what kind of risks are out there. Is it quality of water? Stay away from this, and don't make the wildlife your pets.
So do you have like a focus area? And I know some people, they'll go and get their PhD in epidemiology, or is like a focus or an emphasis, or do you just have like the general, like?
Yeah, so the program at USD, I was the second class to go through it. It's more of a full range public health, so it wasn't just focused on one area. It was more
All encompassing.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of want to do that too.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like global though, like global health.
Yeah.
Because like it just seemed like who knows, you might get, because I like traveling. Like, I don't have kids,
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm just thinking like, how can I get involved globally?
Yeah. Look up USA Jobs. They have a ton of like CDC roles that they're trying to fill all the time for. Like you can go, there's like a whole list of countries that you can go to for like
And
a
it's
couple
like
of years.
Like a 2-year commitment. So it's almost like a Peace Corps.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you thought about that too?
Um,
I mean, obviously not with the kids now, but like, prior.
Yeah, like I wanted to initially, there is the Public Health Commission Corps. So what they do, yeah, it's,
Never heard of it.
it's kind of a branch of the military. Most people don't know about it, but you go into like a public health role or like a physician role or something, and they place you in like federal agencies, so like IHS, CDC, USDA. So you're in a uniform, but you work for these federal agencies, and they place you into
Is that just like it's also like a contracted commitment, 2 years or however long, or?
I think so.
I guess
think
I'll
so.
you
Yeah.
gave me the name. I'll do my research. I'll
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. But like, see,
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Like, commission corps. Like, never heard of it.
Yeah. What's your like degree in?
So right, I'm finishing up my undergrad, sociology, anthropology, double major,
Okay.
business and English minors. But you know, for grad school, originally was looking at public administration,
Yeah.
leaning towards like nonprofit, and then I started thinking about government,
Yeah.
and then I learned about public health, and I was like, oh, this sounds super interesting. And I've been getting more people, that have masters in public health telling me about public health, and the
Yeah.
public administration people, I haven't, been getting as much response or whatever. And then that's how I found out about global public health through a rep from Iowa.
Yeah.
And so I've just been like, tell me more. I've been seeking more information about that. And now this commission corps, I'm like, man, there's just so many different interesting things out there about how to contribute and help and like
Yep.
get these services to and resources to vulnerable populations and the people out there that need it the most.
Yeah. And like I went when I was going through school and all that. I transitioned into equal opportunity on the military side because it was really the only thing that was kind of relative to public health in a way, like with inequality, and I became really interested in that, and I love equal opportunity, like what I do, and I teach like human relations. I teach about cultural differences, and the military in general is trying to become like a more inclusive, diverse community. So the presentation that we heard earlier about transgenders, and that's been coming into the military like more so. So I'm teaching more about, hey, just because we look different or act different, we have different perspectives, different values, that we're bringing into the organization, and you need those different perspectives to work great as an organization. So on the public health side, when I went through health sciences first before I did public health, and you learn about cultural competency, like in the medical field. Like people need to be able to make their own decisions on their healthcare, because everybody looks at health differently. Different cultures look at health differently than others, and so that's how I became interested in how they were all connected. So I don't know if there's like further research in that, but you definitely, when I went through the military program, they sent us to like an equal opportunity schooling, and we watched a video on like how there's a lot of inequality in different neighborhoods and separation, and the same thing is happening in healthcare. So it was really interesting to see that how they were all connected, and especially like with the WIC, like language barriers, immigration. But yeah, it's a good field. There's so many areas to go into, but to narrow it down, I have no clue. Like I like all the different areas,
Me too.
so I don't really know what I would really fit into at this point. But
it's so much work to be done, and like I would feel almost selfish to just like focus on this one thing. Like, but they really need help over there. No, pay attention.
I know.
Help the world, save the world.
Yeah. I did a mock grant I live in a rural community, so I did a mock grant on a school garden for like a rural community. Because you're seeing them a lot more in urban now.
Yeah.
That's starting to be a thing, and pull it into those rural communities that, have their farming communities, but we're still not educating our youth to be that way,
Right.
So it's like, where's the promotion of eating healthy, being physically fit? Like, we should be teaching our children at younger ages, you know, how to grow food naturally, you know.
It would be fun to have like a farming class in school.
Yeah.
Like that'd be
Yeah.
like almost like a requirement, you know, just to be mindful of being resourceful, you know, just being more educated and aware about, you know, renewable, you know, energy at a young age, and then also just what is it called? You know, just like how you can utilize organic.
Right, like composting.
Yeah, composting,
and,
exactly. Composting 101. with
Yeah,
kids,
composting
you know?
101.
Yeah, like how can we make that relatable, interactive, fun,
Right.
educational, like
Yeah.
cover all those bases? Because kids, like, what, we get to play in dirt a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
like that
they're
will
all
be,
about it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I think that it should be some intersectionality with like the way we approach teaching. Like the old way, okay, you know, it gets the job done for some, but like our culture is growing and so diverse
Yeah.
that some kids are not going to be as receptive as other kids. They learn a
Right.
different way, and we have to
Right.
be mindful of that. Like people come from different countries,
Right.
and they're just used to learning a different way. So,
Right, yep.
you know, they're not just going to just give them a book and they're going to chew through that and they're going to understand it. They're not going to be able to
Right.
retain all that. Some of them are, you know, tactile, hands-on,
Yeah.
you know.
And they wonder why we have like behavioral issues in schools right now. It's like, I don't think kids were meant to just sit and expect you to pay attention. Like you said, they have different ways of learning, and
Yeah.
just like narrowing them down to one level is, you know, really tough. Well, then you have like TV, you have, you know, electronic devices. Like my kid, I have an 11-year-old, and he went to school, and because he didn't have a iPad, he was told he was poor. So I'm like, no, I just choose not to allow my child to be stuck to a screen all day long. You know,
Yeah.
I want him to be engaged. So I started an IXL program through the summer, and he does like these educational modules throughout the summer so that it can keep him up to date for when he goes into
That's
fifth grade. So it's like, you know, a guy that I work with, he got me hooked on that, and he said his kid went to school and wasn't confused, you know, right away. He knew what they were doing. So
No child left behind.
right, yeah, it's like, but you know, we have our, like, you know, as a parent, I feel like I have that control to like, you know, set my kids up for success, and I'm really big about not having pop in the house and certain things, and you know, they ask me why and kind of push back a little bit, but it's like, hey, I'm doing it because I want you to be healthy and, you know, become successful adults.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Good
tough.
job. Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, good job on this. Thank you for this.
Yeah, you should look into like the USD program though. It was
Okay.
great, yeah. And they have a lot of good, especially if you're interested in
That's where you're at US too?
Yep.